Welcome. If you're here, it means something deep inside you is stirring, pulling you toward a different way of living. Maybe, as you read this, you feel overwhelmed by the endless demands of life, like you're constantly running a race that you never seem to win. Or perhaps the stress, anxiety, and pressure of trying to meet the expectations of others, family, friends, society, has left you feeling drained, emotionally exhausted, and wondering if there's more to life than this. It's like you're running on autopilot, reacting to life rather than actively engaging with it. The weight of trying to be everything for everyone, of balancing all the responsibilities of your job, relationships, and personal life, can be suffocating. It feels like there's never enough time in the day, and no matter how much you give, it's never quite enough. You might find yourself at the end of each day, lying awake in bed, questioning whether you're truly living or just surviving. At some point, you start to realize that something needs to change. Maybe it's not a sudden, dramatic realization. Maybe it's a quiet awareness that builds up over time. It's as if the weight of everything you've been carrying, stress, worry, fear, uncertainty, has finally become too much to bear. And suddenly, without warning, you're faced with the undeniable truth. You can't keep going on like this. You've reached the point where you know you need a change, but you're not sure exactly how or where to begin. I see you, and I want you to know you're not alone in this. Every woman, at some point in her life, will face this internal tug of war. She will come to a crossroads where the old way of thinking and living no longer serves her. This moment can come after an event, a heartbreak, the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or it can come in a quieter, more subtle form. Maybe you just find yourself waking up one day, tired and worn out, and realizing that the life you're living no longer matches the life you feel called to live. It can feel unsettling. It can feel like a loss of direction. But here's the thing. It's not a crisis. It's an awakening. It's the moment you begin to realize that you are capable of something more. You are capable of living with intention, with focus, and with strength, no matter what life throws your way. Think about this for a moment. What if the way you've been living, the endless race, the constant hustle, hasn't been working because you've been living someone else's version of success? What if you've been conditioned to follow a path that's not truly yours, just because it's what society tells you is the right way? You might be familiar with the phrase, living in the fog. That's exactly what it feels like when you go through life without really thinking about why you're doing what you're doing. There's a disconnect between your daily actions and the bigger picture of who you are and what you truly want. The fog is made up of unexamined beliefs, old habits, and distractions. You keep moving through life, but you're not really living. It's as if you're sleepwalking through your own story. That's what Stoicism offers, an invitation to wake up from the fog. It's not about running away from challenges or pretending that life is always going to be easy. It's about realizing that you have the power to navigate life with clarity, to handle challenges with grace, and to live with intention, no matter how chaotic the world around you may be. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes not from external circumstances, but from our ability to control our inner responses. It's about taking back the power that's been handed over to others, whether it's to the opinions of society, the pressure of expectations, or the whims of our emotions, and learning to channel it into something stronger. Your inner peace, your resilience, and your purpose. When I say, this space is for you, I mean it in the deepest way possible. This is a space where you come to train your mind, to strengthen your inner core, and to prepare yourself for each day with a steady, calm confidence. You are here because you want to reclaim that power, because something inside you knows that it's time to make a change. But before we go any further, let's take a moment to acknowledge this. Life will never be easy. We live in a world filled with uncertainties, challenges, and frustrations. People will disappoint you. Things will go wrong. You'll face grief, loss, frustration, and moments of doubt. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's part of the human experience. Here's the secret that many people miss. You can't control everything. But what you can control is how you respond to the things you cannot change. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation of Stoicism, learning that the external world is not where your strength lies. Your strength lies in your ability to control your reactions to the world around you. You have the power to choose your response, regardless of what happens. And that is a freedom that no one can take away from you. The cycle of worry, a trap of our own making. Think about how much energy we waste on things beyond our control. We worry about what people think of us. We obsess over whether we said the wrong thing in a conversation. We analyze every word, every gesture, wondering if we did something wrong. We worry about the future, whether we'll have enough money, whether we'll find the right relationship, whether we're doing enough to succeed in our careers. And here's the kicker. None of it changes anything. None of it makes us stronger. None of it makes us happier. In fact, it only drains us. It creates a constant state of anxiety, of overthinking, and it keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and frustration. I want you to stop for a moment and think about something. How often do you let worry take over your mind? How many times have you caught yourself ruminating over a conversation that happened hours ago? Or replaying a mistake you made in the past, wondering if you could have done things differently? The problem is that we become addicted to our thoughts. We think that by overanalyzing or worrying about something, we can somehow control it. But the truth is, worrying about things that are beyond our control only keeps us stuck. It's a mental trap that prevents us from moving forward and embracing the present moment. Now, imagine how much peace you could reclaim if you stopped giving away your energy to these distractions. Imagine how much lighter your life would feel if you chose to let go of the things that don't serve you. Instead of focusing on things that are out of your control, what others think, what might happen in the future, what you said wrong, you choose to focus on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your mindset. Let me give you an example. Think about a time when someone said something hurtful to you. Maybe it was a comment about your appearance, your work, or something that made you feel small. The first reaction you might have is to feel defensive or angry. But what happens when you allow those emotions to control you? You might start to replay the conversation in your head over and over, getting worked up and upset. You waste your energy replaying a moment that's already gone, and you allow someone else's words to control your emotions. Now, consider the alternative. What if you could pause and take a deep breath, reminding yourself that you can't control other people's words or actions, but you can control how you respond? What if instead of getting upset, you simply let it go? What if you chose to respond with grace, knowing that your peace is more important than someone else's opinion? This is the power of Stoic thinking. It's the ability to look at a situation objectively, to acknowledge your emotions without letting them control you, and to make a conscious choice about how you want to respond. Living with intention, reclaiming your power. I want you to take a moment and reflect on your life. What are the things that drain you? What are the situations or people that leave you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or out of control? And what would happen if you stopped giving them power over your peace? Imagine a life where you're no longer reacting to the chaos around you. Imagine walking through your day with a clear mind, a steady heart, and the confidence that no matter what happens, you can handle it. You can face the unexpected with grace. You can respond to criticism with poise. You can choose your reactions and your mindset. It's not about avoiding discomfort or pain. It's about learning to navigate it with wisdom, calm, and strength. One of the most beautiful aspects of Stoicism is that it reminds us that we are in control of our own stories. The narrative of our lives is written by us, not by the opinions of others, not by the events that happen to us, but by the way we choose to respond to those events. But imagine waking up each day and choosing something different. Imagine waking up and, instead of feeling overwhelmed by the day ahead, you rise with intention. Picture yourself carrying yourself through the world with a mind that is steady, clear, and unshaken. A mind that doesn't jump to conclusions, doesn't fall into a whirlpool of negative thoughts, and doesn't react impulsively to every bit of stress that crosses your path. Imagine facing stress without breaking down, handling conflict without losing yourself in anger, and standing firm in who you are without needing anyone else's approval. Does this sound like a far-off dream? Does it sound too idealistic, too impossible to achieve? If you've spent years letting your thoughts control you, if you've spent years reacting to life's challenges in ways that don't serve you, it may feel out of reach, but I'm here to tell you that it's not just a possibility, it's within your grasp. This is exactly what we aim to build here. Inner strength, self-control, and the ability to maintain peace in the midst of life's storms. This is not just about surviving. It's about thriving, even when things get tough. This practice, this commitment to living intentionally, is about changing the way you view yourself and your place in the world. It's about recognizing that the power to navigate life's challenges is already within you. It's about learning to tap into that power and use it to shape your responses, your actions, and ultimately your life. The first step in this transformation is acknowledging that your thoughts are not facts. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean that thought is true. Just because a fear enters your mind doesn't mean it's real. Just because you feel doubt doesn't mean you're incapable. And just because you're anxious doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. These thoughts are just that, thoughts. Fleeting, passing moments of the mind that don't hold any inherent truth unless you give them meaning. I want you to really understand this. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts do not define who you are. You are the woman who chooses which thoughts to listen to, which to challenge, and which to let go of. It is this realization that gives you the power to regain control, the power to change the narrative of your life, the power to stop overreacting, to stop replaying conversations in your mind, worrying about things that have already happened or things that might never come to pass. This is where the magic happens. The power lies not in the events themselves, but in how you choose to respond. When we understand this, we stop letting our minds run the show. We stop giving power to things that are outside of our control. We take responsibility for our own emotional states, for the thoughts we choose to entertain, and for how we engage with the world around us. Real life. Example: the power of choosing your thoughts. Let me give you a real-life example to bring this concept to life. Imagine you're at work and you get a critical email from a colleague. Immediately, your mind races. Perhaps you feel embarrassed or angry, or even like you failed in some way. Your emotions surge, and you're tempted to respond immediately, perhaps with frustration, defensiveness, or even just an emotional outburst. But here's the turning point. what if you took a moment before responding? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you paused and reminded yourself that this email, like any other event in life, is not the source of your distress? It's not the email itself that is causing your emotional reaction, but how you are interpreting it. You could choose to take a deep breath, reflect on the feedback without taking it personally, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By doing this, you are not only gaining control over the situation, but you are also asserting your power over your own emotions. You are training your mind to pause, to question, and to choose how you want to engage with the world, rather than letting your mind dictate your reaction in every situation. Your thoughts are not your truth. This is one of the most important principles of Stoic philosophy, the recognition that we are not controlled by external events. Instead, we are the ones who give meaning to those events. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote encapsulates the core of Stoic practice. You cannot control the world around you. People will disappoint you. Things will go wrong, and life will inevitably throw challenges your way. But you can control how you respond. You can choose not to be swayed by every little thing that happens. You can choose to stand firm in your values, in your inner peace, and in your sense of self, regardless of. Think about the times when you've let other people's words, actions, or attitudes dictate your emotional state. Maybe someone made a critical comment, and instead of brushing it off, you let it rattle you for the rest of the day. Or maybe you were stuck in traffic and let frustration take over, making you late for your meeting and setting the tone for the rest of your day. The key is to realize that, in both of those situations, you had a choice. You could choose to engage with your thoughts, but you didn't have to. You could choose to take a step back, observe your emotions, and choose how you wanted to respond. This is the essence of mindfulness and Stoic practice. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. It's about taking the time to decide what truly matters and letting go of the things that don't. Consider a situation in which you find yourself in conflict with someone close to you, maybe a partner, a friend, or a colleague. Your initial instinct might be to argue, to defend yourself, or to raise your voice in frustration. But what if you paused for a moment and chose to respond with grace? What if you chose to listen, to empathize, and to calmly express your perspective without allowing anger to dictate your actions? This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means acknowledging them without letting them control you. It's about stepping back, gaining clarity, and responding with intention rather than reaction. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Our minds have a tendency to inflate situations, to exaggerate the stakes, and to make mountains out of molehills. When we react immediately to something, we often make the problem bigger than it actually is. But when we take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose our response, we give ourselves the opportunity to view the situation with a clearer, more balanced perspective. The daily commitment to mental strength, it won't happen overnight. Just like physical strength takes time and consistency to build, mental strength requires daily practice. The first step is recognizing that your mind, like any muscle, needs regular exercise. You can't expect to suddenly have control over your thoughts if you haven't been practicing. But the good news is that it's never too late to start. Every moment is an opportunity to choose a different response, a different mindset, and a different path. Every morning as you wake up, you have a choice. You have a choice to set your mindset for the day. You have a choice to decide how you want to approach the challenges you will face. You have a choice to decide which thoughts you will give energy to and which you will let pass. This daily commitment is what leads to transformation. It's not about making huge, dramatic changes in your life all at once. It's about making small, intentional choices each day that add up over time. By choosing to train your mind, by choosing to let go of the things that drain you, by choosing to embrace the things that uplift you, you are slowly but surely transforming the way you engage with the world. Building a community of support as you embark on this journey of mental strength and personal growth. Remember that you are not alone. This is a space for women to grow together, to support each other, and to become stronger together. Each one of us has a unique story, a unique struggle, and a unique path to walk. But the beauty of this journey is that we are all in it together, learning, growing, and supporting one another along the way. So, if this message resonates with you, if you feel that inner call to be stronger, to be more intentional, to be the best version of yourself, I encourage you to take a moment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Share your story. Share what brought you here. What part of your mind feels like it's running the show? What are you struggling with? How do you respond to life's challenges? This is a space where we can exchange wisdom, where we can learn from each other's experiences, and where we can build a community of women who are committed to growth, to strength, and to resilience. Final thoughts. Remember, you are not defined by your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts to entertain, which to dismiss, and which to challenge. Your mind is a tool. Use it wisely. Take control of your narrative. Stop letting the past take up space in your present. Stop letting other people's words drain your energy. Stop letting fear and doubt rule your decisions. You have the power to change your story. And if you do this, if you show up for yourself, if you commit to this practice every single day, you will feel the shift. You will feel lighter, more in control, and more at peace. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you've become stronger. Stay steady, stay stoic, stay unstoppable. If you're ready for this transformation, I encourage you to comment below with your thoughts, your challenges, and how you plan to implement this practice in your life. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to continue growing together in this journey. Thanks for listening to Stoic Woman Mindset.